met Sonny and Silas, and we've met so many new guys here the last few weeks. First off, they're impressive, all of them. You know, everybody we've met here. But how's it meshing on the court as you get real close to some big time games here?
Yeah, you know, it better be meshing pretty quickly, right? Guys, for the most part, really like each other and working well together, and we're growing collectively. I like those two guys. Sonny brings obviously a knowledge of what it takes to win, being part of a high-level culture at his last stop, and a lot of winning and not much losing, of course. And Silas Demery is a freshman going on 30. You know, he's just got some maturity. He's got some leadership skills. He's very poised as a freshman.
Feels like you've kind of said that about all the freshmen. What do you think the identity of that group is? Those four guys, that class.
You know, for the three of them have pretty similar personalities on the court. In Silas, Blue, and Dylan. Mari's a really high-level motor guy, flying around the court with reckless abandon. Plays a little bit different than those other three guys, but collectively, all four of them bring work ethic and character, coachability, accountability. All four of those freshmen, again, collectively, comparatively speaking to other classes that I've coached in the past, and probably other classes out there, really want to do what they're asked of by their staff and their teammates, and they've just got basketball conscious to them, you know, basketball character.
When we talked to Silas, he pointed to Justin and Noah as guys he really leaned on getting adjusted. What have you just seen with that relationship, him being a freshman and now he's playing for
Yeah, we had team camp here a few months ago, and I'll never forget going in to watch a game in the women's gym, and those guys were sitting with Noah. Two true freshmen sitting with a fifth-year senior, and Noah, like he usually is in those type settings, is the one talking. You know, other guys are listening, and I just thought that was pretty special from a leadership standpoint for a guy like Noah, who's, again, I've talked to you guys about it. He's got those characteristics, and that just shows you what he's about. You know, he's about, you know, it's an individual sport and it's a team sport at the same time. You know, Noah wants to have a really good individual season, but it's important to him to put his stamp on this team and this program from a leadership standpoint as well.
Is that Silas and Blue?
Yeah, Silas and Blue. And I think it speaks to those guys too, coming in as freshmen and ranked guys and had other options, of course, and both have had individual accolades to this point in their career, and they hadn't faced college adversity yet, but they're smart enough to ask questions to the older guys, to ask, you know, veteran guard at their spot, advice at times.
Going and adding those two guys in the spring after you signed the two in I guess it was November, December last year. What was it that stood out about those two and the need at the time to go get them?
Well, we had scholarships available, and you try to recruit a bunch of different things in recruiting. You know, there's different skills you're looking for, and a bunch of different attributes. But it starts with talent. You know, it starts with, is this guy good enough? Can this guy, you know, make an impact immediately on this program? And both of those guys will do so. So they jumped out to us immediately and throughout the process as guys that we would love to have. It was more of a matter of, you know, do they choose us? Because I think both those guys are going to be really good players.
What more have you learned about this team in the past week? I know y'all had an opportunity recently that you can't speak about specifically, but just overall, did you learn something in that time that you did not know?
And I liked some of our responses. Some weren't quite on point, but we'll get there, or we'll swing to get there for sure. We'll talk about some stuff today. We'll watch some stuff on film. Turnovers. We're trying to play really, really fast, and we've been doing that. We've got to continue to get better with our decisions, especially based on different defenses that we'll see. Next Monday will be a different defense, and then the opener will be a completely different defense the next Monday. So it's a process for sure.
I know you never have enough time before the first game, but how on track do you think this team is right now?
We're getting there. Italy helped us. We're definitely further ahead of where we were at this point last year. And I think we're a better team. Still have some stuff to install, but not a bunch. It's more about, at this point, honing in on what we can get a little bit better at, buying into the fact that we better get better at that because we've got some high-level opponents coming. We've got a really tough schedule. But I think our guys know that. We're excited about this process. And this team's always been excited to practice. So I anticipate getting in there and film, and guys are locked in. But at the same time, they're like, Coach, we're ready to get out there and compete a little bit between the lines.
Mike, this is your third head coaching job. When you were looking to come here, in terms of learning about the alignment between the basketball program and athletic administration, administration across the other side of campus, what did you try to find out about that, and what have you learned in a year and a half being on campus?
The question was during the initial conversation with Josh and Jerry was what their vision was for men's basketball here and what their level of commitment was. How bad did they want to be successful and support it? And there's been no question since the day that we arrived on campus as a family, as a staff, that we're committed to winning here in men's basketball, and we're on the way.
How you say that? What kind of things have gone on behind the scenes that show you that?
Well, first off, the weight room downstairs is as nice as any weight room in the Southeastern Conference. That was built very, very quickly for us, and we've already been utilizing it, and we've already benefited from it. There are a couple pieces of there's an analytical software we asked for that we thought could really help us. Can we go to Italy? It's gonna be pretty expensive. We hear the expensive pretty good over. Sure, anything that we've asked for in terms of, hey, we feel like our student athletes can benefit from this. Josh has either initially said yes or found a way to support, again, our program operating at the highest level.
Talking about next Monday and the exhibition, how much more of an opportunity is there to learn about this team facing off against another different opponent as opposed to, guys that you see every day in practice?
We had the opportunity that I can't speak at, at length, as Dash talked about, against another opponent. So we've seen that, right? And so we'll see that again Monday, but more importantly, we'll see it with our buddies in the stands and our families in the stands. And whether we're streaming or not, I'm not sure. But those are really big factors, how we respond to playing in front of other people. Can we replicate what we're doing between the lines up here with no one in the gym? The good teams do that, and they find ways to remain focused again on us and limit the amount of noise going on in our heads mentally while we're playing the game.
It seems your task. It seems really complicated. You have these high-ranking young guys coming in, and they chose you over other places with the promise and hope and vision of getting in there and being a big part. Yet you have a very veteran team. You talk about Noah taking those guys under his wing. The chemistry part of it seems, and the age of the transfer portal, you got to keep dudes happy too. How do you manage that?
Everyone in our league's in the same boat there, right? It's the most talented league, the best league in college basketball. I think as at least our philosophy as a staff, if you're recruiting high-level people, you give yourself the best chance. We've got good people that we've targeted, that we've signed, that we get a chance to work with every day, and right now it's we're in a good place.
Whenever you go recruiting and you go to different places, how would you describe the excitement level? What do you sense in the excitement level in the Georgia basketball program? You go to all the countries.
We've been really well received. Hey, we've had a number of recruits, come to practices and get a chance to see us play. And I think that we took a step last year, of course, and I think that all of the guys that we're recruiting are hopeful and faithful that we'll take another step this year.
When we talked to Silas, he really harped on the in-home visit and the vision you guys kind of laid out for him. What do you remember about that conversation when you guys kind of told Silas about if he came to Georgia, what it would look like for him?
Yeah, the style of play. We watched some film, and we talked about the level of success that we've had with guards and point guards in particular, and the positions that we would put him in terms of ball screen reads and playing up tempo and having a chance to impact immediately. And Silas has not disappointed to this point. He's a really good player, a great person. We love working with him every day.
Silas said you made his mom cry whenever you laid out his plan, your plan for him. You remember that? Make his mom cry?
No comment.
No comment?
Great family. Yeah, it was a great conversation we had. It was awesome being in their home. And, yeah, he's coaching him every day is a reminder of the foundation that's been laid. He's a successful basketball player. He's going to be a successful person, whatever he does in life. The ball stops bouncing.
Two-pronged question real quick, but the exhibition gets